reason I brought everyone was, as you can see, we are launching our Kickstarter campaign today. We went through Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding platform where people can, rather than investing in films in the, which was the old norm for how you raised money for film or capital, crowdfunding allows people to contribute money in return for access and perks like signed DVDs and memorabilia. You know, at higher levels they can visit the set or be extras. And what that allows us to do is have complete freedom to pursue our vision and not have to worry about whether it's meeting certain expectations for what is a marketable film or what is a film that can make money.
Testament was made for $10,000, which is insane for a feature film. For example, I recently just did a short film for that, for a little more than that, and my film was only like 20 minutes, and then Tim did a two-hour film on that, and yeah, it's not something that you would watch and be like, oh, that was made for. You would think that it was made for more just because of the grand locations that we shot at and the camera we used. We shot on the red and everything looked beautiful, and just the quality of the film definitely is more than the budget that we had.
I've seen a lot of Tim's work in the past, and just looking at the things he's done on the budgets, I mean, the work, it looks like movie cinema quality. I've also seen some progression, so when he first started to where he is now, I was very impressed. And when he started throwing out how much this cost, it blew my mind. And I said, no, I thought you must have had a major budget, but he did. So what that told me a lot about is Tim's resourcefulness, how he's able to make the most and get the most out of the environment and the things and the people around him.
So with this one, I still wanted to push the borders of micro budget a little bit. This time, what interested me was kind of crafting what basically would be almost an epic type film for no money. And someone very early on said, well, how are you going to make an epic on a micro budget? And I said, well, you just move the camera back and stick it on a tripod and get a wide shot. It's not that crazy. But that brought its own set of challenges, but I think we were mostly successful. And working on the micro budget level, you really have to incorporate some level of thought as far as how you're going to make the film at the foundational stage of developing and building the script. I pushed that boundary a lot of what's expected. A lot of the standard things for making a micro budget film are things like very limited locations, very small cast, because you're relying on less people, you're relying on less places, you're not moving the cast and crew around a lot. We pushed that to some extent, but there was still a science to how we did it. We had a large cast, I think over 20 people, which is large for a $10,000 movie. But it was built in that we didn't depend on many of them at all for more than one day. Demi Castro, who plays Simon, is in, I think, every scene. And Rachel Comeau plays Maya. She was in maybe 60% of the film or so she was in like 9 of our 15 shoot days. And then Jose Miguel Vasquez played Drew. He was in maybe 7 days, so like 40%, something like that. And then after that, maybe, there's a few characters who were in maybe 4 or 5 days. And then the majority of the characters, maybe 14 of the characters, are 1 or 2 days tops. Most of them are 1 day. So that meant that if someone dropped out or we lost somebody, we just plug someone else in. That cut down our dependence on having a lot of people. Locations, we did a lot of locations, but we rarely moved locations over a day. We typically had enough scenes that we could fill a day or 2 in that location, and we moved on. And the road movie aspect of that kind of helped that is, the movie's basically divided into sections, and each section is in a location, so we can do 1, 2, 3 days in their abandoned warehouse where they're hiding out at the beginning. we could do, 2-3 days in Simon's old house, where he used to live. And that way we could still show a lot of locations, have a lot of production value from these interesting locations without having to move over the course of the day, because that kills a lot of time and it's very hard.
Micro-budget filmmaking, I honestly had never really heard of. I heard of the concept, but I didn't, and I knew what it meant, but I didn't quite understand the places that would lead you to. For example, when we had to shoot the car scene, where I'm driving the truck with Simon on the way to the first city. Now a scene like that in Hollywood, you can probably rig it and it's safe. You can rig the camera and the crew, everyone's safe, everyone's good. But in micro-budgeted filmmaking, you just got to get the shot. So, of course, you're just gonna throw the whole crew in the back of the truck with a girl who just learned how to drive a stick shift that day. So, that was one of the fun little elements of micro-budgeted filmmaking that I don't think you would get on but I wouldn't trade. I'm sure some of the crew would, but I wouldn't trade that experience.
Compared to how much the typical Hollywood big budget movie is spending on a movie for the same amount of time is very small, and I think the reason and something that's so special about micro-budget filmmaking is that you have an entire cast, an entire crew that are working for nothing, for free, and it's not because, so they're not being driven by money, like, oh, I'm doing this project because I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm making this project because I like this story and I want to see it come to life, and I want to follow it through. And so that's their only motivation, which is one of the most rewarding parts of making a film.